I'm Joe, and this is Sierra Specialty Auto. Welcome to the shop. Today I'm going to begin a project on my car trailer. It's a two-axle car trailer, so 4 wheels. On each wheel there is an electric brake assembly, backing plate, shoes, hardware, magnets. Mine are worn out and they are an unknown brand. I have not been able to identify them for replacement parts such as return springs, but it doesn't matter because we can go to eBay or direct to the suppliers such as eTrailer.com and buy complete backing plate assemblies with everything on them, all ready to bolt onto the end of your axle, and you throw away all the old stuff and put on all new. These are relatively inexpensive, certainly cheaper than buying shoes, hardware kits, and magnets, assuming that yours would need all of those, and most of them do. So this is a really great option. Just get brand new ones out of the box and start from scratch. So we'll dig right into this project. When you're inspecting bearings, the first thing you want to do before you start wiping it with a rag is look between the bearings on the lands on the bearing cage and make sure you don't see any shiny stuff. After that, then you can start looking more closely, inspecting the rollers for condition. But the first thing you want to do before you mess with that layer of grease is to look carefully for any reflective material stuck to the grease. These studs are spot welded into the backing plates, so I'll have to use bolts for my assembly. There, the wide spacing, bolts on the bottom have a wide spacing, so it goes like that. Again, left hand on the left side of the trailer. I've come across a difference between the old backing plates and the new backing plates that I've decided I want to take time to address. Here, of course, is an old one. You can see that the wiring is going through the backing plate with a threaded stud assembly. That's an electrical isolator. Here's one from another backing plate. Plastic insulator with brass threaded studs, and there's fiber washers for this side. There's pilot diameters here. I think you can see that. And that is really good system. I like it a lot. On the new backing plates, let's close up a little here. Wires are coming through with just a little snap strain relief, and next to it is another strain relief. Those holes are both the wrong diameter and they're on the wrong spacing. I need a pair of 25/64 holes on 7/8 inch spacing in order to use this piece. So I've made this template, bolted in with a 7/16 and a 1/4 inch bolt into the original holes. Here's a pilot for a new 25/64 hole. I'll drill that hole. After I take the template off, I'll drill the 1/4 inch out to 25/64, and then I'll be able to use this, and I won't have to do soldered or crimped splices on the end of the wires on the outside of the backing plate. I'll have to crimp 1/4 inch connectors onto here the way the original wires were done, bolt them to the inside, and then I'll have the studs on the outside for use as terminal blocks, because I have front and rear axle, and I'll have a run from the left side to the right side, and I need to bring in the run from the front. So having these as terminal blocks for multiple terminals, either 2 or 3, as depending on the terminal, will be a very, very good thing. I think it's well worth going to the trouble to do this. Here's one backing plate with the holes drilled out for the electrical isolator, ready to install that. Here's the other backing plate with the isolator installed, new terminals on the wire. The new grease seals are a 1/16 of an inch thicker than the old ones, but they're relieved on the inside, whereas the old ones are flush. They're felt seals with metal rings on both sides that take up the full 5/16 depth. So I've found that these seals will fit in, and the recess on the back side leaves plenty of room for the bearing. So it turns out not to be an issue. Just drive them in flush with the face and all is good. That has the right sound, and bearing is loose. Get a clean rag and some brake parts cleaner, and wipe down all these surfaces. This drum is ready to go back on. I have a new grease seal installed in the hub. All the friction surfaces are clean. The bearings have been checked for lubrication, and they're in very good shape. Time to set this on. The old-time mechanic I worked for in high school always had me do bearings like this. Roll them, get that pretty good, torqued up pretty well. Make sure you've got all the slack out, especially if you're installing new races. Back up. Let the weight of the wrench pull the nut, and then back off till the first slot lines up. Just like that. Get the cap back on. Now let's catch up on the left side backing plates, installing the terminal strips. I'll try to stay out of the way of the camera, but I'll inevitably get in front of it a little bit. These are not polarized, so they can go however they go. I'm a little surprised to see this relatively light wire. Looks like 16 gauge. The dealer, eTrailer.com, recommends 12 gauge wiring to the backing plates. Then they put 16 gauge wire behind. That job went pretty well, and the brakes work very well. I want to note that the work I did installing the terminal blocks from the old brake backing plates to the new ones was optional. That was my decision to do that on my trailer. Certainly would not be necessary. It could have been wired in the conventional manner and worked just as well. I hope this will be of help to someone who's looking at doing this project. I hope it's interesting to anybody else that watched. And I thank you for watching. I hope you'll visit the shop again.